Whenever my friends come over, I tell them I drunk this guard dog before they see him. Whenever a large dog wants to fight, and so will bark and show his teeth, and then he'll run under a table where only he can fit. If one of my family members comes out, he hides behind them and shows his teeth. My dad is the best.
Awesome. I heard you can do this one. Good job, baby.
All right, Ruben. Yeah, you read what you wrote.
Alright. I am grateful for my family, friends, and the opportunity to have an education, football, my football team, oxygen that I breathe, the food that I eat, the ocean, mountains, rivers, and mountains. I'm grateful for the horse. I also enjoy Washington for Army. It's a wonderful country.
There? Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else? Okay. Good. Well, I hope that we can be grateful because I know that when I'm like grateful, it's a lot more pleasant to be around than when I just hate on like life. So, good. Okay. A couple announcements. This one you will like. I hate reading logs, so what do I do? Yes.
Really? What? Thing, right?
No, I just hate them. I think they're like busy work because I think you should still read, but having you like write it down.
Yes.
So read. But that means you have to be better at all your other homework.
Your
Because
coolness level just like went from really cool.
read. I thought you were gonna like go down, and I was like, awesome. Okay. Good. So no reading logs, ever, because I hate them. Tomorrow you have testing. Okay, so you're gonna go to your. It'll be second period. You'll go to your second period class, and they will take you to the lunchroom. So I think you need like a calculator and like a pencil.
It's like
The plan test.
Yeah, it's like the Explorer plan. Like 2 hours.
What?
Or 3.
So
So then you're gonna go back to your other classes. Yay, that'll be
what time do we
fun.
finish? At like 10?
They said from like between 11 and 12, somewhere in there. So by like 6th period-ish, maybe you'll come in late. It'll be delightful, I'm sure. Okay? What?
We're doing this one period?
Mañana. Second and fourth and positive participates. So bring your thinking caps, eat your breakfast, and
Wait, it's part of 11 and 12? It's around like 11 and 12?
yeah, I think they said like maybe at the latest 11:30, but I like to come in. Yeah. Okay. Questions on that? Okay. Good. So what did we do last time? What did we do, Sebastian? What did we do last time? What did we do last time? Yeah, we acted out the trial scene, right? From okay, what were some of the things? Hey, what are some of the things we noticed that were changed?
Well, I can't say specific right now, but like I noticed some like ways they would say stuff or change like different words.
Okay, so some of the words are a little different. Good. Dayton.
I think that, I forget if the script said this, but in the book it described as like, the girl, she was like really dirty and stuff like that when she went in the courtroom.
Okay. So Mayella was really dirty. We got to, because when she enters the courtroom, what do we know about her beforehand? Well, we know that like she's there because she says she was raped, right? But we don't really know a lot about like what she looks like, what she smells like in this case. Good. So there's some extra details we get there. Well, if she's not clean, I would assume there would be some smell.
What's the sound?
I don't know, depends what she sounds like. Okay. Anything else we noticed different as we were reading last night versus what we did today? Or last night? Okay, more description. Yeah. Hey, can you hear Miss Emily? Okay, go like the judge and the thing. I was like, wait, we were having a contest that I wasn't aware of? Okay. Good. So we're going to talk today about something that is important to every trial. So when you have a trial, there's, like, you're always on trial for a reason. And we've talked about these a little bit, so this will be a little bit of review. But about not only claims, but counterclaims. Okay, so what was a claim? Yeah.
So, I do not know her name, but the girl was claiming that she was beaten by Tom Robinson.
Okay, so that would be like a claim in To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Generally, though, like, what's a claim?
Oh.
Like for writing.
Oh, it's like when you're running through space and I say you can claim that this is better than this.
Okay, so you're making some sort of a statement that's kind of like opinionated.
Yeah.
So it's a stance, right? We take stamps and we say, this is what I think. Good, so in To Kill a Mockingbird, the claim was that, say that again, Donald.
It was that the girl that had supposedly been beaten was that Tom Robinson raped her and beat her.
Okay, so that was the claim. That was why they were on trial. Good. Decent.
Are we gonna do the school uniform thing again?
We might, like, a little bit later. Not today. We've got a couple things we're going to go over today. But I have been considering this because you guys seem to like it a lot.
Yes, but with a better subject. That's
With a better subject.
subject is not a
Okay.
because
Good. So what would be the major counterclaim to that claim then? If the claim in To Kill a Mockingbird was, in fact, that Ayala was raped and beaten by Tom Robinson, what would be the counterclaim? Yeah.
That Tom Robinson is innocent.
That he's innocent, that he did not do those things, right? So what is, like, in a general sense, what is a counterclaim? But what? Okay, so it is a claim that refutes or denies, like, that original claim, right? It's one that's against it. Good. So we're going to look at those a little bit today. So as an example on the board, you should have, that you picked up today, that white sheet. You're going to pull that one out first, okay? And we're going to look at some claims and some counterclaims. You guys are going to be such good arguers, okay? You're so excited. Okay.
loud.
What?
Oh,
Wait for my little projector to come on.
loud and angry.
That's how you argue better. There's some logic involved, I hope. I hope you're just not loud, angry people.
Oh, I know there's logic, but that's if you want to get people's attention. So yeah, when I was loud, I mean, it was like,
All right. So, why would you, if you've got a counterclaim, and you're writing, say you're writing a paper, and you have a claim, you have a thesis, right? Why would you use a counterclaim in an essay? Why would you want to be aware of one, first of all? Yeah.
Well, like, if you're arguing for something, you could put in a counterclaim to kind of show the other side and show its flaws, maybe.
Okay. So, you could put in another side, and it shows the flaws. What does that do for you as the writer? Like,
Kind of makes them a little bit more for your claim.
okay, because why?
Because they don't have
Donald.
they don't have like the good side of the counterclaim.
Okay.
So they only have like a bad side.
Okay, so if you're going to put a counterclaim into your argument, it's good to just show the flaws in it and tear it down rather than build it up. Good. I heard something about being more persuasive over here. Was that you, King? No. Who said it was more persuasive? Okay. Why would it be more persuasive, do you think?
Because there will be people who have been wrong about that, so
Yeah. So look at all these flaws with this other argument that I could have maybe believed. We better go with them. What does it do? So like if I see like a commercial that's like, this is the best product ever, you've got to try it, and it's better than everything else, and it just is better. Like, great, but what are you comparing that to? But if you have that second source, so they're like, OxyClean cleans better than Clorox, right? And they say, here's like a test we did, and I say, oh, it really does. By having that counterclaim that like some people say that Clorox is better, but then disproving it, I feel like that commercial knows more about their product, right? That they're more truthful because they're willing to show the competition a little bit, but then you smack it down, right? So when we're writing, it's important that we are aware of our counterclaims, but that we use them in a way that is persuasive, okay? So let's look at this example on the board maybe. You think what? Okay, I'm gonna try this instead. Okay. So I want you, I hope we can see this. Okay, look at this example. See if this works. Still nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Oh, you broke it.
I did break it. Okay, well, we'll just look at the one on your paper then. Okay, so pull out your paper.
Which one?
The white one. So, okay, so there's an example in there. And on the front side, it has a thesis. Okay, will you read that thesis for me, Marcos?
Yeah, the best college student candidates are students who have a good work ethic, show mastery of academic skills, and are proactive.
Okay, good. So what is my claim? What would you say my claim is, Sebastian?
The best college students are
Yeah, so all of that thing, that whole thesis is my claim, right? It's like that three-prong thing. Okay, now I want you to look at that paragraph below. Will you read that, Connor? Read that paragraph.
When most people think of a student who will get into college, they imagine someone who gets straight A's, has a great ACT score, and is in every extracurricular activity imaginable. However, while this is certainly a student who will get into college, it is not the only type of student who will be successful in a university setting. Many students, far less noteworthy, do just as fine, in fact, surpass the performance of these all-star students. For instance, in high school, many of these golden students seem to be good at everything. But this is not because they are actually child prodigies, but because they live in small communities with far less competition than bigger cities. When these students reach college, they often fall behind the students who did less well in high school because these lesser students who come from huge metropolises with stiff competition and are actually far more skilled than the small town superstars who were only more talented because there was less competition. Thus, a student does not need to be the top of his or her class to be successful college student, but rather should work on harnessing both academic
Competency.
and willingness to learn and work hard.
Okay, good. Thank you, Connor. So what is the counterclaim in this paragraph to that original claim? Yeah, Donald.
That people from the little cities are only getting better into colleges just because there's less competition.
Okay, that's one. What is like, so that kind of is like a subclaim that backs the other one. What would be like the major counter? Yeah.
The major counterclaim is like that these super students are the only students that can do well and be successful in like getting to university and colleges.
Yeah, exactly. So the type number down there. It says 1, what is the claim? We've already done that, so go ahead and write the claim. If you want to write, just say C thesis. I'm fine with that, instead of rewriting the whole thing. Then I want you to write down what the counterclaim is, okay? So number 2, on the bottom of the paper, what is the counterclaim? Mark. Write down the claim and the counterclaim. Mhm. Anyone still confused on the counterclaim? Okay, what's our question about it? Okay, so the claim is that the best college student candidates are students who have a good work ethic, show mastery of academic skills, and are proactive. If that is the claim, which claim in this paragraph says like the opposite or a different view? Could be like werewolves, zombies. We shut the door. Can I go outside? No. Okay, so Evan, what is the counterclaim in that big paragraph?
Is it,
Okay, if you don't know the counterclaim, I would listen to Evelyn now. She's gonna help us out.
that you don't have to have, like, good, exactly good straight A's and a good act work to get into a good college?
So did you say don't or do?
You don't have to.
Okay, so that's the claim, right? That's what it's saying in that thesis, right? So what's like the opposite view of that?
That you have to have it?
Yeah. So remember, like right here it says, when most people think of a student who will get into college, they imagine someone who gets straight A's, who does all of those things. That's like a counterclaim, right? When they think of this kind of a student, like that's who they think of. But then I talk about how that's not right. Okay, so do we see how that's the counterclaim?
Yeah.
And even though I'm going to refute the counterclaim and use it to my advantages, it's still a counterclaim. It's still a claim that goes against the original one. Okay? Okay, so what's some evidence that supports that this counterclaim is not credible? Donald, you mentioned one when you were reading through there. What was that one that you
Oh.
mentioned?
That they live in a small community with far less competition, but they'll seem like a golden student.
Yeah, when in reality, okay. So some of the evidence that supports that the counterclaim is bogus or that it's not very good is that some of these all-star students come from tiny towns, and so therefore you can't rely on that alone. And they're not always the best students because when they get into bigger cities, they aren't as good as those kids who maybe they got straight B's, but because they were with like a ton more students, those straight B's are actually better than like the straight A student in a tiny town with like 12 people in school. Okay?
Oh, that was so cool.
That would be, I had some friends who did that. I was like, I think I would die, but cool. Good, so that's one evidence that supports that this counterclaim is not credible. So I would write that down under number 3 on your paper. What do you want us to write? What we just talked about. The tiny town theory.
What do you think their homework would be in small towns? Because like everybody knows each other, and it's like kind of like To Kill a Mockingbird, where everybody knows each other and something happens.
What would their homework be? Is that you?
Yeah, like
Probably the same as everyone else's.
I don't know, but it's
I mean,
like
just because you know everyone doesn't mean you can't do the same homework.
I don't know.
Nope, no one can read now because there's no name in the handbook.
Good claim.
That is a good question. It's fun to think about. Okay. Was there any other evidence that we really saw? I think that's the main one. I think because this paragraph is trying to stick to a main idea, that's the main evidence against it. Okay, why is this an effective counterclaim being used in this? So this is my paper. If I write like a beautiful little intro with a lovely hook, and this thesis comes at the end, and then this paragraph comes first, why is this still effective in an argument paper that's talking about this, even though I'm giving like a counterclaim? Yeah.
Because you can still like kind of put that in the rest of your like your rest of your essay. You can like contradict or contradict.
Okay, explain that a little bit, because I'm not quite following it.
So since this is only your first paragraph, you can still like, but this could be counterclaim claim doesn't like you can disprove the counterclaim.
Okay, so I could go through and say like, this is a counterclaim, and then spend the rest of the essay disproving that. Good. So how does it end? Look at that paragraph. Look at that concluding sentence. How does this paragraph end? What do you think, Mason? How does this paragraph end? Read that last sentence.
Thus, a student does not need to be top considered a class to be a successful college student, but rather should work on harnessing both academic competency and willingness to learn and work hard.
Okay. So what is that sentence doing to the counterclaim? Is it supporting the counterclaim, or is it supporting my thesis? My thesis, right? It's supporting my thesis. Can you see parts of my thesis in that sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, like what parts?
So like and willingness to learn and work hard.
Okay.
Like good work ethic.
Okay, good.
Work hard.
Good. So for a counterclaim to be effective in a paper, you have to show how your thesis is better. So at the end of your counterclaim, when you're putting it in your paper, you want to make sure that you reference it back to your claim somehow. So I say, thus, like this is a crap claim, and mine is better. And now I'm going to show you why. Okay? Do you see how that works in a paper? How if you put it like as your first paragraph, that's totally fine. But then you've got to link it back to your thesis and show how the rest of your paper is going to prove why yours is better. Okay? You guys see that? So you should have something written for 4. Why is this an effective counterclaim? So why is it effective? That
Show
kind of
both
mentioned.
sides.
Because what?
They show both sides.
Okay, it shows both sides, so you know it's pretty open with. So that's one reason. What's another reason it's effective? What'd you say, Brig? What's another reason that this is an effective counterclaim? What's it doing for my claim? For my overall purpose? Okay. Okay, so it's giving some more details. So that last sentence, what does it do again?
What, like, that's just that part,
Uh-huh.
says that, like, a student can be a good, like, college student if they just work hard. They don't have to be necessarily a star student.
Okay, and that is what? Where do you find that kind of idea in the first place? Where else do we find that idea?
Exactly. What in the claim.
In the claim, in the thesis, right? So my thesis, right here, is like the same as right here. So, another reason why this is an effective counterclaim is because I direct it back to my claim, right? I prove it wrong, and then I redirect it back to my claim. So I would write that down too. For a counterclaim to be effective, it needs to be proven weak and then be re-referenced back to my original claim. You got that? Okay. You have that down in yeah, they,
Eating healthy does more than exercising.
okay, so what we eat does more than extra, so that could be, you could write that, eating healthy has a bigger impact on childhood obesity.
Sure, they're doing philosophy together, man.
I know they were first grade, I don't know what her 12th grade is.
I can go out like a spy.
You could, or you could write down a counter thing.
Or no.
You're right, sir. Over paper, right? Okay, let's go. Yeah, they,
Oh, I just haven't.
okay, let's give someone else a check. What's another counterclaim we could have to this, that childhood obesity would be solved with extracurricular sport activities? Yeah, Ruben.
After-school sports don't help obese kids.
Okay, so we could just be as simple as they don't. Okay, yeah, that would work. Okay, and then we'll go Donald and Zach. Okay, Zach first, then Donald. Josh, dang it. I'm so sorry, Josh. Okay.
But, so, like, it could be that these kids won't participate in after-school sports because they can't in some cases,
Okay.
so it's not really helping them.
Okay, so childhood obesity would not be cured by this because the obese kids who need it can't participate in the first place. That's pretty good. I hadn't thought of that. Good. You write that down. Yeah, Donald.
It's their own fault.
It's their own fault?
Hey, they were the ones going to eat it.
No, it's
Okay,
their
but that's not
parents'
really a
fault.
counterclaim, right? That's just a
Yeah.
statement.